But this time, and I'm really curious about it, you have my deepest respect for doing this. I appreciate that, Spencer. Absolutely. It's the bare minimum I can do. I wish I could do more. I really wish I could do more. So anyways, I'm curious about this because we have looked at this situation with the pyramids and the buildings underneath, and we have had all sorts of people talk about it. But man, I am really curious to see what this man has to say about, because here's the thing. When it comes to Simon Whistler, I don't have anything personal with Simon Whistler. We have even interacted in the past. We even did one collaboration many years ago where I had debunked a video of his, and then he reached out and said, hey, can you help me make sure that my information is correct? So I actually sent him the research for a video, and he made a video on his main channel saying that I provided the research, so I appreciated that. Then I made a few other debunking videos, because here's the thing about him. He's a presenter. That's what Simon Whistler is. He's not an expert. It's fine. You don't have to be an expert to speak before anyone misconstrues my words. It's totally fine. Share your opinion, whatever you want. That's fine. Absolutely. It's your freedom. Do it. But I'm saying he has a million channels. He has so many channels. He is everywhere. So what he's doing is reading someone else's script every time that he posts these videos. So the accuracy of the information presented is dependent on that specific day, which of his script writers it was, and what they did with the research. So sometimes he's made videos and I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's good information. Other times he's made videos, I'm like completely wrong. And so I made debunking videos. Today, is this a debunking video? Maybe. I'm actually curious. I want to see what he says. This is on his side channel, 1 million subscribers. As I say, he has so many channels. He's literally everywhere.
Beneath the sands of Giza, beyond the grandeur of the pyramids, the legends of long-departed pharaohs, and the weight of 4,500 years of history, something extraordinary may be waiting. This discovery is so deep, vast, and controversial that it has left the archaeological community both stunned and divided. In March...
What do you think of that statement? I'm not trying to be pedantic, but I will be stopping this a lot for transformative reasons. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, the archaeological community, I think they all dismiss it. I don't think the archaeological community is divided on this issue at all. So there's that. Is it a discovery? It's already big word. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Stunned and divided. In March 2025, a team of researchers hailing from Italy and Scotland released a new analysis.
This man is not a researcher.
Claiming it reveals enormous structures hidden beneath the Giza plateau. These are not merely chambers or tunnels. The findings include vertical walls stretching over 640 meters, that's 2,100 feet below the surface, spiral staircases, massive enclosures, and perhaps most astonishingly of all, a concealed sarcophagus encircled by water buried more than 180 meters or 600 feet beneath the so-called Tomb of Osiris.
Yes, I mean, that's the claim. I think the claim, 648 meters is the shaft, but then they continue. In fact, the full statement is that these go down 2 kilometers under the ground.
If verified, this would represent the most significant discovery ever made on the Giza plateau. Yet most mainstream experts have dismissed the claim outright.
True.
They've labelled it as entirely baseless, unscientific, and even akin to science fiction. Critics argue that current radar technology cannot effectively scan to such depth, that no peer-reviewed studies have validated these claims, and that the entire finding rests on mere speculation. But the team didn't merely claim to have found anomalies. They mapped a structure with forms, depths, and features that appear unmistakably intentional. So, who?
The main problem is how they mapped it. That's the main problem. And once again, why am I so critical of this guy, Corrado Malanga in particular? Wait and find out, because I'm going to share something.
Forms, depths, and features that appear unmistakably intentional. So, whom and what should we believe? What if the Giza Plateau, already one of the most mysterious places on Earth, sits atop something far older and far stranger than we ever imagined?
I would love that, by the way. Even though I'm on the skeptic side of this matter, mostly because of who's being involved in this, most of my skepticism comes because of Corrado Malanga and Armando May. Corrado Malanga because of what he normally says outside of the presentation that I watched, and Armando May because of what he said during the presentation and subsequent interviews. If they weren't in the picture and this was Filippo Biondi alone, my skepticism would have been still there until you actually freaking dig, but it would have been very different. I would have been like, you know what, maybe this is some kind of, it's in my book, nonsense bullshit from, what's his name, Zaki Hawass trying to block the public from figuring out stuff that he wants to control, because that's still a possibility, of course. But after I've seen the Corrado Malanga and Armando May connection, and I'll show you, I'm going to show you everything here, we're going to have a great time. But I would love it. I would absolutely love it if they dig it. And they show that there is a shaft pulsating with electricity with a little reptilian right next to it going like, hey, bro, I would love it. I would be like, guys, I was wrong. I mean, not necessarily, because I always said, who knows? Let's dig. But I would be like, man, they were right. It's in there, the reptilians. That's what I would say.
Let's be really honest for a minute. If I'm having some drinks, I'm probably not waking up the most chipper the next day, you know? Or at least, well, I wasn't until I...
What the heck happened? Oh, okay, it's the sponsor.
What the radar revealed.
Yeah, allegedly.
To grasp why this discovery has sparked such controversy, we must look beyond the claims and delve literally deeper underground in Giza than anyone has ever before. Now,
I respect that he used the word literally in a context where it actually makes sense. You know what pisses me off? When the new generation says, I'm gonna literally die if I don't have a coffee. And I'm like, your usage of the word literally defeats the purpose of its inception into the English language if you use it in a situation that isn't literal, but it's paradoxical. It's not literal if it's not gonna happen. In this case, it is literal. If you need to literally dig.
At the heart of this debate is a team of researchers led by Corrado Malanga, forensic expert, Nicole Sacolo,
Ciccolo, not Sacolo.
Researchers led by Corrado Malanga, forensic expert, Nicole Sacolo, Egyptologist Armando Mai, and physicist Filippo Biondi.
May. I'm sorry, guys. It's just me. I'm pedantic. What you want from me? You know I'm pedantic. I'm even releasing a plushie on the 10th of July. Metatron Pedantic Edition. It's a limited edition. Pedantic Edition. 10th of July, guys. I'm releasing a plushie. Limited edition. Pedantic Edition. So I'm pedantic. It's not like you didn't know.
They employed a method known as synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, sending high-frequency electromagnetic pulses deep beneath the Giza plateau. Now, this isn't your ordinary ground-penetrating radar. According to the team, SAR, which utilizes satellites, can peer into the Earth to hundreds or even thousands of feet. Their analysis of the data, they claim, has revealed some staggering results.
I asked my wife to bring up the prototype for the plushie, so I'm going to show you. Yeah, it's makeshift. I'm going to show you. I just asked her to bring it up. She's bringing me up. It's going to be great. It's going to be glorious.
First, they discovered 8 cylindrical wells, each measuring between 10 and 12 meters or 33 to 39 feet in diameter.
They did not call them wells, though. I watched it in Italian. The whole conference, they were not called wells. They were called either pillars or shafts. I am here, guys. I have arrived. There I am. There he is. As we are getting, this is going to be the plushie to celebrate the last 10,000 subscribers to 1 million. The hair is historically accurate, guys. I can tell you that much. I can tell you, there I am. So there you go. This is a Metatron plushie, historically accurate, with the Brigandine. I actually annoyed the shit out of them, telling them no when they were showing me the designs, and I'm like, no, the hair needs to be longer. No, it needs to be longer than that. So here it is. It's accurate. You know, I was telling you this is a pedantic edition, limited. Wait for it. Let me see. There we go. Pedantic. Metatron limited, so when he sits to make videos, he becomes pedantic. It's perfect. And then when he stands, he's not making videos, he's not pedantic anymore. How about that?
This is like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
He sleeps with me.
Yeah, he sleeps. It's always with her. That's why I didn't have him in my office. Okay, so what have we got? Hit me with the knowledge, Simon.
Wells extended over 640 meters or 2,100 feet straight down beneath the base of the Khafra pyramid. Encircling these shafts are spiral formations, which the researchers interpret as helical staircases, suggesting that they serve as access points to an immense...
I don't remember them saying it was staircases. If anything, they said that the spiral tubes behaved like glass. I do not remember them using the word staircase. Now, given that it's not like I memorized the 4-hour conference, so maybe don't quote me on this, but...
Immense underground system. From these wells, the scan revealed 2 massive rectangular enclosures, each approximately 80 meters or 260 feet on each side. Beneath these structures, the radar detected further formations descending another 600 meters or 2,000 feet, bringing the total depth of the complex to over 1,200 meters or 4,000 feet. This depth is roughly 1.5 times the height of the Burj Khalifa, or just over 3 times the height of the Empire State Building. Then came the image that made all the headlines. A shaft beneath the so-called Tomb of Osiris, a symbolic site long believed to represent the entrance to the
No, I
underworld.
think the other...
And it appears to lead to
Sorry, I didn't block it. I think it's the other one. I reduced his voice. I think the other one is the one that made, because they claimed that it's a city, the city of Amenti. So that's the other one that did the headlines, but yeah.
200 meters, 656 feet below the surface, which may contain a sarcophagus surrounded by flowing water. Sicolo, who interpreted the results, described areas of high-density reflection, striations resembling steps or terraces, and distinct boundaries that suggest constructed architecture rather than mere geological formations.
Yeah, I mean, Ciccolo is... I don't know how to put it without being rude. So she is... Her channel, and some of the statements that she made are very... My gosh, this will rewrite everything. Discovery of the millennium. Most important thing ever discovered, blah, blah, blah. And then after she said that, in the very introduction of her video on her channel, so I have to say that either she edited it or she said okay to the editor, there was this wonderful image of a Stargate and right next to it a reptilian. So there is that.
Pozzo di San Patrizio in Italy, known for its spiral staircase descending deep into the rock. The team asserts a confidence level above 85% that these structures, wells, rooms, and enclosures are genuine. They also point out that the radar successfully mapped known structures within the Tomb of Osiris, thereby proving its accuracy. And here's
now the level of, when you call them a team of researchers, and then you say that they have a very high confidence in what they have found, it makes it sound legitimate, right? But let me tell you something else that Mr. Corrado Malanga is highly confident that it's real, right? So we can kind of give you a broader picture of what we are talking about. There he is. Just a little bit. Let me put myself, it's going to be double Metatron, guys. Let's translate a Metatron on the right. Translate a Metatron, please.
Dipendente dai valori di energia.
Is independent from the values of energy or energetic values.
Cosa vuol dire essere indipendente dall'asse del tempo?
What does it mean to be independent from the axis of time?
Vuol dire essere immortale.
It means to be immortal. Right. I would like to underline at this point, if you thought that that was weird in the sense that you couldn't really understand what he was on about, that's nothing. That's nothing compared to what he usually does. So he will extrapolate a word and fill it with a different semantic meaning inside it. He does this a lot.
Che noi non sapevamo nemmeno che cosa fosse.
We didn't even know what it was.
Cioè l'anima.
So the soul, asks the guy.
Sì.
Yes.
Chiamiamola anima.
Let's call it anima. Let's call it soul. Parte animica.
È una convenzione.
It's a convention.
È una cosa.
It's a thing.
Veniva staccata.
It was removed. This is during the abduction event that he's describing.
Veniva portata all'interno di un altro cilindro.
It would be brought inside another cylinder.
C'era un altro essere umano.
Where there was another human being.
Che veniva fatto vivere perché.
And he was made alive.
Che quella cosa lì gli dava la vita.
Because that thing gave him life.
Poi questa cosa.
Then this thing.
Veniva ripresa e rimessa nel contenitore originale.
Was taken back and placed again in the original container.
Dove sarebbe stata ripresa la prossima volta.
Where it would have been taken again next time. Here's the part with the crocodile, damn it. That's my favorite part. Show you the giant crocodile, because then after you see the giant crocodile, I think you will finally understand why. Okay, I found it, guys. I found the crocodile. Let's go.
Con la faccia da coccodrillo.
Yeah, wait.
Il loro sogno è sempre lo stesso.
Their dream is always the same.
C'è una specie di serpente.
There is some kind of snake.
Con la faccia da coccodrillo.
With the face of a crocodile.
Che mi entra in camera.
That enters in my room.
alto 2,40 m,
He's 2 meters and 40 tall,
accompagnato da questi piccoletti.
accompanied by these small ones. The Greys! Greys!
E poi non ci sono solo loro, ci sono altre razze.
And then it's not just them, there are other races.
Questi vengono, mi prendono, mi
They come, they take me,
portano, mi fanno
they take me away.
delle cose, io non ho capito.
They do things to me that I don't understand.
In qualche modo io dimentico.
And then somehow I forget.
Ricordo solo attraverso delle opportune sedute di ipnosi.
I only remember through hypnotic sessions
E-
that he was conducting, by the way, and he thinks that these are real. He also said that he found proof that there are chips that were inserted through surgical procedures into the body of these abductees by the aliens. He said, I have proof of it, but never shows it.
Attraverso queste sedute
And through these sessions,
tutti raccontavano
everyone retold
le stesse identiche cose.
the exact same things.
Centinaia di migliaia di persone.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Cioè, la statistica è una scienza vera quando si
Statistics is a real science when
tratta di numeri alti.
it deals with high numbers.
Noi in Italia
It's not statistics when you say that every single one says the exact same things multiplied by hundreds of thousands of people. That's a numerical impossibility. But regardless, it doesn't matter. So there is a lot. I have a whole dedicated video. It's just that the algorithm didn't really push this one, which is probably why you didn't know. But there is the whole section where he says that there are multiple alien races. He says that they've been... He tells us exactly when they have arrived. That's 500,000 years ago. And he says that they've been writing our history. He says that there are different races. He says that some, I think, are on our side. I don't even remember everything. But I'm just saying, let's go back to see this team of researchers and their level of confidence, shall we?
Here's the part that's really going to blow your mind. They believe that these structures are about 38,000 years old, making them over 25,000 years older than any previously known human-made structures. It's no wonder, then, that the world is paying attention. You see, if they're right, this isn't just another archaeological site. It's a doorway into a chapter of human history that we never knew existed.
Yeah, so to give you a little perspective on that, you know the statement that they say the pyramids, rather than being 5,000 years old, they are 36,400 years old. This statement was made specifically by Armando May, not a researcher, not a scientist. But what did he justify it? Because, you know, I like statements like that. Well, wow, 36,000 years ago, that's big. So what do you base it on, right? You know what he based it on? I listened in crystal clear Italian. You know what he said during the conference? He said, this is 36,400 years ago because we can't just date the pyramids alone. We need to date the entire complex at the Giza plateau. That was it. End of it. Nothing else. Nothing. He didn't talk about, like, I was expecting maybe there is an architectural proximity, like, oh, this style was present 30,000 years ago in this other side. Nothing. Nothing. That was a proof. And that was supposed to be the first section of the presentation, was supposed to be the historical justification and the basis to then proceed into their interpretation of the findings. Because, like, well, we've got this. It was all numerology. After that, it was all numerology. Armando May, I'm not going to say what I just thought in my head, but let's also say, there is another thing that I'm going to tell you about Armando May when he comes back on screen, and I'll tell you in a second. I'll give you little by little. Let's go.
Tomb of the Birds. Now, long before the discovery of a vast underground city made headlines, an earlier finding hinted at hidden structures beneath the Giza plateau. In the late 1970s, a collaboration between the Stanford Research Institute and Ain Shams University in Cairo carried out ground-penetrating radar studies on the plateau. Their work revealed voids and suggested the existence of artificial chambers beneath the second pyramid, Khafre's. Although these results were never fully explored, the possibility of hidden structures persisted. Then in 2008, British historian Andrew Collins and researcher Nigel Skinner-Simpson brought attention to a little-known tomb carved into the north cliff of...
I don't care, give me the reptilians. Sorry, also because I don't react to the whole video. I'm more interested into the reptilians. What is it? Is he gonna talk about the reptilians again? Maybe he'll just give us... Oh, what's going on here? Wait, what's going on?
One that may have been wiped out by a cataclysm, perhaps even the same one linked to the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. This theory posits an asteroid strike around 12,800 years ago, which triggered global climate chaos. It is a controversial idea, that is sure to ruffle some feathers, yet similar stories appear worldwide. In myths from Sumer, Greece, India, Mesoamerica, and even the Bible, there are accounts of advanced cultures destroyed by fire, flood, or celestial
Define advanced, not to pull a Jordan Peterson on you, but in this case I do believe it's important to understand what you mean by advance.
wrath. Ancient Egypt even had a term for the era before this period of Zep Tepi, translating as the first time, or the period before known history. And even if these are myths, why do so many of them point to the same event? Could the Giza plateau have been a sacred site long before the pyramids were built?
You know, we do have a word for the period before before history, and it's called prehistory. In fact, that's another thing that it's interesting. When they state that 36,000 years ago you had a civilization, not only, because when you just hear the numbers, wow, 36,400 sounds, wow, it's a big number. That would mean either the end of the Upper Paleolithic or the beginning of the early Mesolithic, depending. And the idea that there was an advanced civilization in the Upper Paleolithic, I mean, you need to do a lot of heavy lifting on that one to really present, because it would mean that they are historical if there is also writing in it, which would completely change everything. And I'm okay for change, but you need evidence for change. And also, where are the reptilians? Okay, here he is. Let's go.
Without excavation, all of this is simply noise, they say. Yet researchers claim...
Okay, yeah, I should listen to that one. Okay, go.
Skeptics say it's science fiction, that radar can't see that deep without
Well, I am a skeptic, but I don't necessarily say it's science fiction. I say dig.
excavation. All of this is simply noise, they say. Yet researchers claim they've discovered not merely voids, but structure, form, geometry, purpose. Beneath it all lies the possibility of a civilization lost in time, hidden under a pyramid. It's easy to dismiss such claims, easier still to sensationalize them, but
Exactly.
it's much harder to sit with the unknown and let the mystery in.
Okay, finally, I agree with him. That statement was spot on, Simon.
Perhaps these discoveries will turn out to be nothing more than shadow and error, or maybe beneath the sands of Giza there really is something ancient waiting to be revealed, something waiting that is about to change everything. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's, so let me tell you about Armando May and another statement that he made since he appeared here, and he said he's a researcher. Well, this researcher, another thing he said during an interview that I watched all of this, I don't even know why, but anyways, I watched it, and during this interview he said that the pyramids do not belong to the Egyptians. They don't. They don't belong to the Egyptian civilization. It's a statement he made. I do believe that they belong absolutely to the Egyptians and their civilization, their past and their history, but whatever. Then he talked about these shafts underneath the pyramids, right? And he said that these shafts had two possible purposes. One, structural support. So they believe that the pillars are literally there to basically do what the bedrock is there to do, so there would be no whatever. So he says now the bedrock is not enough because they're too heavy. Okay, so they built these pillars, I suppose, to provide structural support to the pyramids. This is one of the two, I don't even want to call them theories, hypotheses. The second one, however, that he said publicly is that these shafts under the pyramids are used for the production of energy, meaning electricity. That's why, because people say, but they didn't say aliens. Well, you do know what Corrado Malanga says and has been saying for decades in Italy. So excuse me if I'm connecting this to the crocodile, 2 meters and 40 centimeters tall. There is a reason why I'm doing that. But even if I wanted for a moment, it's like, oh, yeah, that's just Corrado Malanga. He thinks this stuff. They don't care. They just look at the science. All right. Well, if that's the case, then explain to me how this man is confidently stating that the ancient Egyptians, in fact, not them, another civilization. Let's say it's not the aliens, all right? They're not aliens. They're humans, but they're super advanced. Great. If they build electricity-producing machines under the pyramids, what do they need them for? Where is the technology that required to be plugged into the wall? Because if you produce electricity as a civilization, but you have no use for that electricity, what's the point of such a colossal, monumental endeavor, is my question. So what you're saying is, oh no, they did have the tech. So at that point, I'm like, where is it? In Zahi Hawass book, where is the tech? because we haven't found a computer, we haven't found a flying machine, we haven't found a laser gun, and I would love it for it to be a thing. Or these machines went away, which connects again to the reptilians. So it was aliens, maybe not reptile. I'm not trying to be racist towards aliens. Maybe they're not reptiles, maybe it's the Greys. But if the Greys have arrived, they built the pyramids, I would also to underline, why did they use stone at this point? To hide it from us in the future, so we are like, I don't know, this could be, why? Why didn't they use titanium to build these structures? Why stone? Why are they relegating themselves to technology and materials that belong to the Bronze Age or the Iron Age, in the best case scenario? And yet they are capable of intergalactic travel. So why are they not using their own materials? Why are they not using our own raw materials? They use stones. They make these machines under the ground to do what? To recharge, I guess, their spaceships. But then they all left. So it's the aliens again. It's like, I'm not trying to be someone who says, or anyone who has an alternative idea that goes against mainstream analysis. Oh, they're alien, they're alien people. No, I'm not doing that. But in this case, I mean, come on, I just translated it for you. One guy tells me about the spirits and the aliens, and they steal your soul, and they come here, the reptile and the Greys, and there is a machine that turns around and flies, and then you go inside the UFO, and it takes you out. One guy tells me that, lead researcher of this team, and then the other guy, him, tells me about electricity production machines under the pyramids. What do I need to think at this point? And I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I'm trying to justify the level of disbelief and skepticism, and also why it annoys me when people call them a team of researchers. And that's that. So, yeah, Simon, I mean, just giving, not hating on you. Okay, Simon, you do your thing. You do your sponsors, you do your thing. Great, you're successful. Good for you. But I just wanted to provide a little extra context into this, so that whoever is watching maybe my response to this video, maybe they're not going to take the word scientist so lightly. And that's that.